America, the land of the free, the home of the racist.
My environment has been harmed by this African black person.
Three black women jogging on a beach in El Segundo, California, get into a racial confrontation a few years ago by a woman who calls the cops saying her environment has been harmed by black people. Now the black women tell the NBC station they were confronted and assaulted with that familiar trope.
So I stopped and I said, "What did you say to us?" And she just went on kind of a racial tirade and was like, "You need to go back to Africa."
Increasingly, black people are gladly doing just that, going back to Africa.
I originally moved to Ghana in 2020. I'm still very happy. It's a little different. I live in Elmina, which is in the central region of Ghana, about 4 hours from the capital city of Accra.
We're heading to Africa now on Blackland.
And now,
as a brown person, you just feel so invisible.
Where we're from.
Brothers and sisters, I welcome you to this joyful day.
We celebrate freedom. Where we are.
Get on the ground!
I know someone heard something.
And where we're going.
We the people means all the people.
The Black Information Network presents Blackland with your host, Vanessa Tyler.
For many of us, deep in our souls, there is this longing for Africa. Most of us just want to see it. Others want more than a vacation. They've decided to make Africa their home. Rashad McCrorey is in Ghana. Thank you for joining Blackland from the Motherland.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you reaching out to me.
When did you move to Africa? And you moved from Harlem, New York. But when did you move and why did you move?
I originally moved to Ghana in 2020. It happened to be by chance. I began visiting the continent of Africa in 2015, so I've always traveled back and forth. In 2016, I started my travel company, Africa Cross Cultures. We organized trips to the African countries of Egypt, Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, Rwanda, and Uganda. And I just happened to be in Ghana March 2020 for their Independence Day. And while I was in Ghana, that was actually the onset of the pandemic. And being from New York, being asthmatic, and New York being the epicenter at the time, ground zero for the pandemic, I just decided it was best for me to stay in Ghana. When I originally purchased my one-way tickets, I didn't know that I wasn't coming back for 2 years, you know? So it was something by chance. I had managed my money well leading up to it. I had a good amount of savings. I had a decent income coming in still. And I just, went with the flow. Life throws curveballs sometimes. So I pivoted and I decided to stay.
Well, what do you think of it? Do you love it?
Oh, I'm very happy. Every place has their ups and downs, their pros and cons. But as of now, I'm still very happy. It's a little different. I live in Elmina, which is in the central region of Ghana, about 4 hours from the capital city of Accra. So me being from Harlem, New York, a live, vibrant city, this is kind of the first time in my life that I've lived in a suburb, such a quiet place. When I leave my house here, I'm about a mile away from the nearest store, real store. We have little stores we call container stores, which have basic toiletries and small snacks and things like that. But I'm still transitioning from being in New York City to being in a suburban area like Elmina. But then there's also the benefits of seeing something that I call all Black everything. Again, I mentioned being from Harlem. You mentioned the bodegas. The bodegas is, more I consider bodega the Latin-owned corner stores, but predominantly in Harlem, we have the corner stores which are run by the Yemenis. In Ghana, we have Lebanese. But the Yemenis run all the corner stores in Harlem, it seems like, with very few bodegas. You have the Korean stores, the Chinese stores. Indians run the 99-cent stores, the supermarket. The check cashing place usually have Latino cashiers. It seems like when I'm in Harlem or even home, the only real Black-owned monopoly we have are still barbershops. However, when I'm in Ghana, all the businesses are African-owned.
For so many African Americans, they can't picture it. All Black, all African.
I know a lot of my Caribbean friends, whether they're from Haiti or Jamaica, have that experience. but this is my first experience with that. It's a blessing seeing Black newscasters, Black actors, Black politicians, Black doctors, Black lawyers, and that's all you see.
But being an African American on the black land of Africa, Rashad McCrorey tells me there is a difference. It's the money. The American dollar carries a lot of weight here.
It's like somebody moving to your neighborhood and you know that they're worth 10 to 20 times more than anyone there. You may want to leave America and go off the grid, but you have to also understand that everywhere you go, you're a wealthy person walking around.
And everybody knows it. For Rashad, the benefits of being in Africa outweigh it all.
No, I don't have to deal with systematic oppression and racism, but now I have to deal with the meat issues, my core issues. I don't have any more, I don't want to say excuses, but I don't have any more outside forces negatively impacting my well-being. Most of the people that I see actually picking up and moving here are older retirees, whether it's pension retirees, Army retirees, people with income, people with steady incomes coming in.
And with many now working remotely, another opportunity to make Africa home. Meet Captain Hayford. He is from Ghana, and he has a YouTube show there titled Web Nation Africa.
Thank you so much for the invite. It's a pleasure to be here.
You are in Ghana. What part are you in?
I'm currently in Accra, the capital city of Ghana.
Wow, how exciting is it there?
Ghana is, it's a beautiful place. The weather here, it's amazing. The community, it's amazing. You don't know who you're going to meet. Lots of opportunities out here as well. And this home, that's where my dad and my mom is from. It's a beautiful place to be.
The beauty, the weather, steady warm temps. But there is more that draws African Americans here. And through his show, he learns all about it.
The number one thing that stands out is peace. Security, the sense of security, being able to drive without having to worry about a police, stopping you and being scared of your life has been a number one so far reason why people relocate. Also a fresh start, right? Ghana is relatively cheaper compared to the USA. If you're making over like $30 a year to $50,000 and you have so much money accumulated, coming to Ghana can give you a fresh start, right? Even when it comes to building your home or even starting a small business that you don't really need a lot of money to, start. So people normally choose Ghana because of such reasons. And it's an emerging market, it's up and rising. It has a potential. So most people, diasporans I've spoken to move to Ghana because of it.
One person Hayford featured on his YouTube channel show Web Nation Africa was this Black single woman who moved to Africa by herself. She tells Captain Hayford why.
There's so much pushback in my life. Like, not everyone experiences this. Is not everyone's story, but there is a portion of people that may have gone through this same kind of experience, dealing with living in corporate America, dealing with racism, dealing with passive aggressiveness and stuff. So I was just like, what am I doing here in America if every time I come out my house, I feel like I have to look over my shoulder? I feel like I'm being threatened, or I feel like I'm not getting the opportunities, even though I'm qualified. Why? Why am I investing? Why am I giving my energy to this? And so in 2022, I was sitting in my cousin's coffee shop. I was like, I'm going to Africa. And he was like, you're going to go by yourself? And I was like, yeah, I'll meet people there.
So she came and made a home for herself, renting a house for the price of an apartment in the States, and living where she tells Captain Hayford she knows she belongs.
When people are coming here from America, they're coming for peace. They're coming for a sense of belonging. They're coming to find their roots. And I think that a lot of people, they don't know, like, there's a lot of African Americans that believe that they're from America, even though it says African American in the title.
What about safety? Of course, in the United States, safety is a big concern because of the gun problem here. What about safety there?
I think Ghana, if I'm not mistaken, is the second most safest country in Africa. It's very unlikely to hear that a foreigner came to Ghana and had a issue with safety or was in trouble, was robbed, gunpoint, where his life was threatened. It's something that you never hear. And one of the things that people move down here for is the freedom that you have. You can literally do whatever you want to do, not to commit crime, of course, but you feel free. There's a sense of freedom here. Mostly African Americans, kind of go through changes of being more patient more than they would have been in the US.
Rashad McCrorey can attest to that. The slower pace, new lifestyle, much different than the Harlem, New York man who had the travel company and whose visit was extended due to the pandemic that at the time in March 2020 was hitting New York City hard. So staying in Africa was safer.
Now, what's your day like? What do you do day to day?
Well, one of the blessings out here is that I do have sufficient income through my travel company, through my book sales. I do have a book titled Repatriation, Tips and Skills for Families Relocating to the African Continent. So I do take my days a little bit more self-help wise. Chapter 2 of my book is called Self-Care is the Best Care. So, I wake up in the morning, I stretch, I do exercises. I'm 44 years old. I feel myself aging a little bit. So I make sure that I do some stretches. I do some warming up. I do some cleaning around my house to keep myself busy. I go out for a walk just to get my vitamin D and my health moving in.
He is such a part of his community in Elmina, Ghana. The elders here decided to give him a title.
I've been named the first ever chief of tourism in all of Ghana in the traditional town of Elmina. So from there, I usually have a certain set of meetings that I like to go to or that I'm responsible to go to. Maybe around noon, then I start working on, I'm trying to learn more about finances and skill building. So I do set out 1 to 2 hours a day, 3 to 4 days a week, just kind of like learning a new skill. Elmina is the home of the original Door of No Return, the first slave dungeon and largest slave dungeon in West Africa. Elmina is also the place where that was first colonized by Europe and all of Africa. The first European schools were established in Elmina. The first Christian church was established in Elmina. Again, the Door of No Return.
I should mention his title comes with a new name.
So I'm an astute chief. My title is Nana Kofi Okokojufo the First. And Insra Shrehim means visit and seeking. Visit and seeking. So that's why we translate it as Chief of Tourism. Kofi, I'm a Friday born Okokojufo, the brave one, the courageous one. And they gave me that story because they never seen a street guy out here. They never seen a street guy out here. They know my story about me just deciding to stay during the pandemic. They say that was a brave decision, a courageous decision. So they gave me the name Nana Okokojufo, Nana meaning chief, Nana meaning king.
For Rashad, it's the lack of violence. In America, people so quick to whip out a gun. Here, sure, there are fights, but when it's over, the combatants are alive.
But here in Ghana, people can be having real loud, angry fights with ugly and nasty, and I say nasty, ugly and nasty words being said to each other, and no punches are thrown, no fighting, no violence. And then they're friends, moments later. Me and Black Americans have been in situations where we were getting ready to leave, like, nah, this is not a safe environment. And then we seen the people being friends later where if we knew we were in the United States, that there would have been there would have been gun violence. I've also changed health-wise. Being in New York, the concrete jungles, you have to search for sunlight. You have to go to parks, you have to stand on a corner just to get basic sunlight. Here, I have the sunlight that I need all the time. The food is healthier here. And this is all going into my physical fitness. If I eat chicken here, for example, sorry to my vegans and vegetarians. If I eat chicken here, for example, I know that the chicken was probably alive this week, when it was alive, eating real worms from the ground, eating rice, eating corn that's not GMO steroid filled. In the United States, the chicken may not have ever been alive. I know what I'm putting in my body's healthier. I know it's a lot less stress in the environment. You're not worrying about your life. You're not worrying about your safety. I'm getting adequate sunlight. You can only drink bottled water out here, but the water's clean. I'm just a healthier person. I'm a healthier and I'm a happier person. My money stretches longer, so I'm not as stressed. For me, it has been a really good experience.
So good, he is even applying for dual citizenship. Rashad McCrorey put his journey in a book.
Tell me your book again and to help Americans who are considering moving to Africa.
Yeah. The book is titled Repatriation, Tips and Strategies for Families and Individuals Moving to the African Continent. You can find it on Amazon.
Wow.
You can always check out my website, www.africacrossculture.com. Africa Cross, like the cross, culture, culture.com.
For now, he's single, but the elders told him he has plenty of time. This is Africa.
So right now, I'm still single by choice. And I'm comfortable with that right now. I've rushed in the past. And part of my growth and development is, take your time. I'm only 44 years old. I have time. And if anybody don't agree with me, talk to my elders out here who are 60 and 70 marrying 30 and 40-year-olds.
Rashad McCrorey, living and loving Africa. Thank you for joining Blackland.
Oh, thank you for having me, Vanessa. I really appreciate you.
Before we leave the continent, we check back in with Captain Hayford. He'd love to speak with you if you decide to come home.
There's an energy field that Ghana has that as soon as you enter the atmosphere, you feel it in your spirit that you're at home.
Well, I think it's terrific. And how can our listeners follow you and listen to your podcast as well?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, my YouTube channel is called Web Nation Africa. WEBNATION and then Africa.
That's Web Nation Africa on all platforms. His personal Instagram, Captain Hayford, CAPT Hayford.
Please keep telling our stories on Web Nation Africa. And how do we say goodbye and be well?
Memao, yeah. I give you wellness. That's how Memao is. I give you. Yeah is wellness. I give you wellness. So that's how we say it. Memao, yeah.
Memao, yay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Join me next time on Blackland. Like and subscribe. A new episode drops every Friday.